Yeah, hurry up.
All right, we are live. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Gloucester Industrial Park Tenant Business Resource Webinar. Just to let you know, this meeting is being recorded. And if you are joining us by phone, please use *6 to unmute yourself. We're going to hold Q&A until the end of the two presentations. But also please remember *9 to raise your hand if you're joining us remotely, so over the phone. But we're happy that you joined us today. This event is put on in partnership with the City of Gloucester, Gloucester EDIC, Massachusetts Office of Business Development, and Mass Development. And the purpose of this webinar is to let you know the resources that are available through our state and quasi-governmental partners. As you know, as we all know, we've been through over a year of this pandemic. All of you are busy running your day-to-day businesses, and you might not know the resources that are available. So that's why we're doing this webinar today. And I'm happy to be joined by Mayor Safatio Romeo-Taken, CAO Nicole Keyser, Community Development Director Jill Cahill, our Administrative Assistant Shelly Sciolino, and other members of the city. And we are also joined by City Councilor Sean Nolan and EDIC board member and business owner on Condolin Road, Taylor Hedges. I want to thank them for their help and outreach and helping us spread the word, and also for their partnership in working with businesses. Now I would like to hand the microphone over to Mayor Safatio Romeo-Taken for some welcoming remarks.
Well, first of all, thank you, Sal. Sal, thank you so much for, I know they have the same last name, but as we always say in Italian, we're all related, but this time they're husband and wife, and they're a great tag team. We're very fortunate to have the both of them on our teams, including, you know what, Rob Anderson, thank you so much. It just makes it easier to handle a pandemic when all of us here, you know, Taylor with, you know, his tents, all right, we're going to do this, Mayor, call Jill, you know, saying we need this, what we need to do, what's going on with the economy. Every community is different and it's fitted different. And I really appreciate everyone, especially those who are here today, because we need to reach out and let them know that, you know what, the commercial industry that we have all around and what we can do on Condon Road and some of the things, and Sean having his business there, Councilor Sean Nolan, it's very important. And you know what, Maria, you know, the Northeast Regional Director of Massachusetts of Business and Development, it was very important because not only, you know, you hear during a pandemic, if someone is losing their company, rush right in what we can do to be a liaison to this community. I'm very thankful because it makes it a little easier when we have a team right away. I love the fact that, you know what, we all get together. There's an emergency happen. Let's get us together. Let's do what we need to do. And then we go out there, and that's great. So I really appreciate all of you. I know that some of the people that want to be on here couldn't make it, and they're looking forward to this recording and sharing it. We will on social media everywhere. And I want to thank you all for coming today and being part of our team in the city of Gloucester, because I consider mass development and development of Massachusetts Office of Business Development part of our team. And I know you guys work closely with our community development team. And you know what? Yeah, we are different in Gloucester, and that's pretty good. That's a good feeling. So thank you and welcome, everyone. And Shelly, thank you very much. You can't forget Shelly.
That's right. Thank you, Mayor. As the Mayor mentioned, this meeting is going to be recorded, and it'll be on our business resource page for the City of Gloucester. So thank you for that reminder, Mayor. So next up, we have the Northeast Regional Director for the Massachusetts Office of Business Development, Maria Nigro Di Stefano, more famously my wife, but she's joined us today. We work together in that she has 52 communities on the North Shore. Gloucester happens to be one of them. So we work together to get businesses the resources that they need. And, you know, together, Maria and Rob have over 40 years of combined economic development experience. throughout the state. So as the mayor said, we're lucky to have these partnerships. And without further ado, I'll hand it over to Maria.
Thank you, Sal. Yeah, so Rob and I started in kindergarten with our economic development. Actually, so good morning, everyone. And I just want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to join us. And on behalf of my partners at Mass Development, I want to thank Mayor Taken and her team for facilitating this webinar. Sorry about that. Can you see the slides? Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Great. Thank you. So let me take a minute to talk to you about MOBD. So it's the Massachusetts Office of Business Development, and we help businesses that are relocating to Massachusetts and businesses that want to expand their current operations here. So I'm one of 6 regional directors across the state. Our team works closely with the private and public sectors to coordinate a whole range of resources to help you with business growth. So we're the state's executive branch economic development agency, and we report to Secretary Keneally. Through our economic development, well, I'm sorry, you know what? There's a piece I'm coming back to this slide because I wanted to mention a couple of things that Gloucester is actually taking part in. So we manage the Economic Development Incentive Program, the EDIP program, and we also manage the Massachusetts Vacant Storefront Program, which Gloucester takes advantage of. EDIP. Through our Economic Development Incentive Program, or EDIP, we seek to create new jobs and help businesses grow. We encourage this growth by offering credits to lower taxes in exchange for job creation. So if you're planning to make a large private investment and creating additional full-time jobs, you may be eligible for our program. Okay, so this slide talks about our TIF. So TIF stands for Tax Increment Financing. And a TIF is negotiated, it's an agreement between your business and the host municipality, in this case it would be Gloucester. So the percentage exemption applies to the incremental increase in assessed value of the parcel in the agreement. They include exemptions on personal property tax. So I'm gonna show you. The next slide is a visual, and it's a lot better. So I just wanted to give you some basics. So a TIF is a 5-year minimum with a 20-year maximum, and it can be varying percentages. So the business pays the full tax rate on the base value. So whatever your building is assessed for now, whether you own the building and pay the taxes on it, or you are in a triple net lease and still pay the taxes on it, so in a TIF, you would pay that full tax rate. The exemption from property taxation on all or part of the increased value accrued as a result of the development. So that's the increment. And like I said, the percentages can range from 5% to 10 to 100%. So this next slide is a little bit clearer. So you can see, like down here, the property taxes before the investment, right? That's what you're paying now. Then this would be the assessed value, right? And then so there's that delta. So a TIF is basically a percentage off of the incremental increase. So I threw this slide in at the last minute, this one slide, because I can't stress enough about timing. As soon as you begin to consider an expansion, you need to reach out to Sal to be in the process of discussing your project. So it's never too early to talk about tax incentives, but sometimes it can be too late. Because, and I'm going to talk about the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council in a second, but they meet 4 times a year. So a lot of times we have to back into a meeting date, because this council is basically, they have the final say, right? So you would negotiate a TIF with Sal and the mayor's team. And then we would get into the process. Sometimes there can be additional monies from the state credits from the state on top of that. So these are some of the factors that the Economic Assistance Coordinating Council, this is the board that approves EDIP projects. They want to know, does a but-for exist? So a but-for is, you know, but for these incentives, does this project pencil? Would it not occur, right? So some of the considerations are, is the property already purchased? Is the lease already signed? Do you already have your equipment placed on order? Has the construction begun? Because those would eliminate that but-for consideration. In addition to, so that's just, like I said, as soon as you are feeling as though, it could be 2 years from now, you know, I think we need to look for a different building, we're going to grow, get in touch with Sal, let's start the conversations right away, because also there are other people that we're going to bring into the conversation, like my partner, Rob, who you're going to hear from soon. So in addition to administering the state's tax incentive program, MOBD also serves as your single point of contact for other state agencies and quasi-governmental partners. So that basically what that means for your business is that if there's a program out there that may be applicable to your business, even if it's not a program that my team administers, we'll certainly make an introduction for you to someone who can assist you. And these are just examples of some of the partnerships that we have. And, you know, if you need some workforce development and training, if you're a life science company and want to talk about those incentives, I even, you know, I put business planning on there. A lot of the businesses on this call I know are very mature and already growing, but maybe you're considering a new revenue stream. We can get you some free business planning and some business counseling to just tackle that one piece of business that you want to implement. And as you can see, I highlighted the financial partnerships because we're definitely, you're going to hear from Rob soon. And here are some other business resources. So Mass Hire Career Centers, I know a lot of you worked with them before. So they work with both the job seeker and the business to put everybody together. And they can assist your company with recruiting, screening, and training of new staff. They do a good job of vetting resumes, so you're not going to get, they're not going to send people your way that don't have a matching skill set that you're looking for. There's the Workshare program that allows workers in a company or even a small unit within a company to share reduced work hours while also collecting unemployment insurance benefits to supplement their reduced wages. On the job training, sometimes there is an opportunity for you to receive up to 50% of of an employee's wages as they're training with you. There's the Work Opportunity Tax Credit, otherwise known as WOTC, and there are federal tax credits that are available to employers for hiring people from certain targeted groups who have faced significant barriers to unemployment. And the Workforce Training Grant. This is administered through the Commonwealth Corporation. They have sort of 3 levels of grants. There's the general grant, which is up to $250,000, the express grant, which is up to $30,000 per company, and small business direct access program. The grants are matching grants, and you can use your employee payroll for that match, so you would not be out of pocket. There's also a safety training grant through the Division of Industrial Accidents, and that's up to $25,000. There is going to be a new round of these grants late spring will be the announcement. So either get in touch with me or Sal, and we will get you on their mailing list. So as soon as the round is issued, they will send something out to you. Also within that same realm is the free safety consultation. It's through the Division of Labor Standards. They will come in and do at your request. This team will come in and do, they'll help you recognize and control potential safety and health hazards. They are not OSHA. They are actually some folks that come in so that if you ever had an OSHA audit, you would already know if you have any issues and what OSHA would be looking for. And as I mentioned earlier, when I talked about business plans, there's the, or even marketing plan, there's the Mass Small Business Development Center. My agency partially funds them along my agency and the SBA funds the Mass Small Business Development Center, and they provide free confidential business counseling, like I said, marketing assistance, marketing plan assistance, business plan assistance, and financial assistance. So if you're looking for financing, you're going to need to get all that paperwork in order. And this is one of their specialties at the Small Business Development Center, is helping you get your financials in order. The Supplier Diversity Office, they certify diverse businesses, and they manage several business programs that help enhance the marketability of small and diverse businesses when they bid on public contracts. So if you're woman-owned, veteran-owned, minority-owned, LGBTQ-owned, or disability-owned business, they can help you with certification. Sometimes people are like, well, I don't know, I bake chocolate chip cookies. Why would the state buy chocolate chip cookies? I'll tell you, the state has to buy everything from chocolate chip cookies to I don't know, maybe helicopters. So certainly there is something, and also too, they can help you with private contracts, as well, as there are some private companies that have certain financial obligations to meet, and so they can help you with that assistance. And then finally, there's the Veterans Business Outreach Center, and this program is designed to provide entrepreneurial development services such as business training, counseling, and resource partner referrals to transitioning service members, veterans, National Guard and Reserve members, and military spouses interested in starting or growing a small business. And they are operated by the Center for Women in Enterprise. Again, any and all of these programs, while my team may not administer them, we can certainly get you connected with them. And so I am just the last slide is my contact information. So if you, my office, when we are not at home, my office is at the Enterprise Center at Salem State University. So I am looking forward to visiting some of your businesses when we are able to do that in person again. And in the meantime, if you need to get in touch with me, you have my email address there. If you want to LinkedIn, I'm Maria Niger Stefano on LinkedIn. And if you want to tweet at me, I'm at Easty Maria. And I am happy to, if you want to tweet at me about your business, I am happy to retweet about it. These were just a few of the agencies that we can connect you to. And I know you're all anxious to hear from my colleague, Rob, at Mass Development. So I'm going to end here, but I will certainly take questions during the Q&A portion of this event. Thank you.
Thank you, Maria. I appreciate it. I received emails from a couple of folks that had some issues logging in. So they joined us a little later or in the process of joining us, but just to remind everybody, this meeting is recorded and we'll post it. So whatever you missed from earlier, you'll be able to see. So thank you, Maria. And I also want to mention we're joined by the Cape Ann Chamber of Commerce, another important partner of ours in everything we do at the city. So thank you, Peter and Ken, for joining us. And next, we have the Vice President of Finance for Mass Development, Rob Anderson. Rob and I go way back, and I'm excited for him to be here. He's relatively new to the organization, but definitely not new to economic development. And he's another partner of ours, and we're so happy to work together with Mass Development. I know the mayor is very close with former Mayor Dan Rivera, who is head of Mass Development, but there's a lot of great people there, and they've helped a number of our businesses already. But I asked Rob to be here to talk about the programs that he oversees because they can be really helpful to you. So without further ado, Rob, if you could join us, and I know you have a presentation to upload.
Yes, and I'm going to do a shared screen. for 1 second. Hopefully that comes up for everyone. I wanted to first thank Sal and the mayor for inviting me. It allowed me to do a couple things. One, retrain myself on how to tie a tie because during the pandemic working remotely, I've not had that opportunity. The other thing is it allows me to talk a little bit about what economic development is. And there are three stools, three legs to every economic development story to the tools. One of which is the state partners. That's Maria and myself. We are always there to go out and help and make those connections. One of the other legs is also the business that's looking to expand. And sometimes people say that's the most important leg of the economic development stool. It actually is the municipality. The municipality does the permitting. The municipality works on the incentives. They help supply the workforce. So it's very important that all of those groups work together for the benefit of the region. So it's once again, as I said, my pleasure to be here to participate. Now, mass development is a quasi-public. And most people think, okay, what does that mean? Well, we don't receive money from the state. We actually subsist on the fees and interest on the lending programs that we do. But we're heavily involved in lots of projects throughout the state. Looking at our fiscal 2020 results, 341 projects, 2.6 billion for the Massachusetts economy. That's pretty good. And so during that time, working with all those projects and working with the businesses, sometimes people say, okay, who do you help? Well, it's really any type of business. Even if we cannot provide that service, we have the partnerships with our teammates to help fix those pain points for every company that's looking to expand. More often, and this is particularly focused on Gloucester, we work with manufacturers. That's on equipment, real estate, things that can help the business expand. We also do work with housing and nonprofit entities. Now, we, like Maria, are spread statewide. I'm in the northeast part of the state covering 55 communities. I like to say it's sometimes in the tone when I say, I'm coming to visit you. Oftentimes it's very friendly. If I were to lower my voice, it might sound a little bit like a threat, but I've got 55. And when there is an active community like Gloucester that is interested in learning more, it makes my job easier and allows us to help many more businesses. So as I go through, so what we offer is kind of on the financing and real estate. There's bond financing. We do have some grants. We do loans and guarantees, and the tax credits tend to be for the housing market. When a company is looking to expand, particularly a manufacturer, and they're looking to do a real estate deal, such as purchasing their building or construction, we can step in to help. So there is an awful lot that mass development can do. The best way to learn is to take a little bit from this presentation, but also give us a call. Talk with Sal and say, hey, listen, mass development is the state's financing arm. Can you make an introduction? Economic development is done one-on-one because each business is different. There's a character and a need for each. And although you can know the basics of our lending programs, such as the fact that we can do equipment loans or loan guarantees, nothing quite is as useful as inviting the team in to show your space and to have those face-to-face talks. So often partner with Maria to get out and see people. And, you know, it's also good to show a couple of examples. Mass development, and this is pre-Rob Anderson time at Mass Development, did a work with Middle East Bakery in Lawrence, helped them purchase their building. The loan guarantee allowed them to expand and add jobs. And it being in a gateway city was beneficial to getting the best type of deal for helping that business expand. That's a loan guarantee. We do equipment loans. Once again, Rob Anderson starting, there was an equipment loan for Atomic Coffee Roasters. They wanted to add new equipment. And even though they had a banking relationship with an existing bank, there were some issues and concerns about the company's ability to repay. So Mass Development actually stepped up with a loan of itself. And we have done loans and projects with lots of companies in Gloucester, including business on Condolin Road, Fleet Machine. So there's lending. There's also tax exempt bond financing. This actually lowers the capital payments for a business. And working with an existing bank, it actually removes the taxes that one normally pays on a loan. This can be very useful for large equipment purchases and real estate purchases. And because it's set up as a tax exempt bond amortized over many years, there can be significant savings for a business. This is something that I myself do not administer. We have a bond guy. We have a lending guy. We've got a community development director as well. So I'm kind of a lead person to vet people. My teammates tend to call me the quarterback up here in the northeast part of the state. And I think it's the only time when I've ever been confused with Tom Brady. That doesn't happen often. So I actually take it and run with it. But when we do, things like the tax exempt bonds, it's businesses, but also, and I wanted to bring particular attention to this, we did a tax exempt bond for the Cape Ann YMCA for the facility construction in Gloucester. We want to improve the quality of life for each of the communities that we cover. There are an awful lot of them here in Massachusetts. As I said, I cover 55 in the Northeast, but an active municipal government interested in helping their businesses helps increase the number of jobs, help the community retain those companies that could possibly think about going somewhere else, and also get down onto the residential level by helping clean up brownfields. This is a fund that Mass Development administers, and municipalities can apply for through the state's One Stop, where Maria's organization plays a key role. That is something that can definitely help if there is a site that needs to be turned over and a community wants to see it redeveloped. Additionally, on the entrepreneurial side, Mass Development has a collaborative workspaces program where entities, either a nonprofit or a for-profit organization, can come together and fit out space and kind of work with local vendors and entrepreneurs to kind of set the seeds for their growth. This is something that we've had success in Lowell and Lawrence, and it's a great thing to think about where a municipality and Mass Development can partner. The PACE Property Assessed Clean Energy is a financing tool for property owners. This is tied to clean energy improvements, such as a company putting solar on their roofs. It's for companies thinking to replace their boiler because it's no longer efficient. With PACE, there has to be a municipal opt-in. And I am very happy to say that one of the first communities to actually opt into this program was Gloucester. It is a great tool for those property owners who want to do something better for their community and their building, but always are thinking about those business decisions that can factor into it. Replacing a boiler is expensive, especially if it still works. However, it could be more efficient, could put out less carbon, and PACE is a tool that can actually help a property owner do that and increase the value of their property. And lastly, to kind of quickly run through all of the programs that Mass Development has, we have a real estate program where we can work with the municipality and private property owners on plans, site layouts, site readiness, taking a look at those potential master plans for areas that might be of importance for new job creation, new facility investment, and even things like transportation infrastructure. It is a little bit focused on kind of regional collaboration. And so what we like to do is say, helping one community should, at its best, help the full region, because we all know that for a business in Gloucester, there might be people living in Essex or Hamilton or coming down from New Hampshire. And if you have a rising tide, it will lift all of the boats. So those are some of the things that Mass Development tries to do from a financing perspective and from a team perspective to work with businesses, municipalities, to increase economic viability for everyone. This last slide actually shows the team. As you can see, we've got someone in investment banking, lending, and community development. I am obviously the quarterback for all of those people, but hopefully I've enticed enough of the people on the call or watching via video to pick up the phone and talk to Mass Development about how we might be able to help the businesses expand. So I wanted to say thank you and open it up for questions.
Rob, thank you. And I love the Gloucester examples, and I know in the collaborative space program, Wheelhouse Co-work was a recipient in Gloucester of that. And I know Maria and you work together on that, so we appreciate it. Anytime where you're helping Gloucester businesses, it's appreciated. But thank you for the presentation. I know it's a lot of information. The goal here is just to plant the seeds so that businesses know that there are programs that are available. If something rings a bell, if you have a question on anything, we're here to help. You could call me, you could call Maria, you could call Rob. There's plenty of programs, and sometimes I might know just enough to get you to the right person, and then you just take it and run with it. But there's a lot of opportunities here. So we're happy to open it up through Q&A. We have a chat feature where you can submit a question, and feel free to do so. But I know Taylor was on from EDIC, and EDIC is also interested in making sure that the businesses are being helped. Taylor, I don't know if you wanted to say a couple of words on that as a board member and business owner on Condolin Road.
Yeah, no, I just want to thank Rob and Maria for giving us this intro to all these programs that are out there for people, because I don't think people really understand that. And if there's anyone out there that wants to reach out to me and see if they have other questions, they can ask me, and then I can hopefully point them in the right direction. But yeah, there's a lot of information to take in, and as things happen, I'll relay it. And I know there's some people that weren't on this webinar that are looking to developing stuff on Conlin Road. So I think I might kind of push them in your direction as they free up. They're busy, they're out doing stuff constantly. And I also think that they don't, as Sal, you came to me with some people looking for space, and I know 3 people are like, yeah, I can, when someone needs some space, I'll build it. I'm like, you kind of have to have it ready to go. So I think I'll maybe at least link them up with you guys on some form or another. So maybe we can get things moving so it's ready to go next time, because I think we're kind of running out of space in Gloucester. A while back when I joined the EDIC, we had a lot, and I think somehow, through Sal and some other things, I think a lot of it's gotten filled up. So when someone comes to Gloucester, it'd be nice to have some more.
Taylor, that's a good point. And while we have Rob on the call, Rob, if there is a property owner that has, vacant land in a commercial area such as Condolin Road, and they want to do something, where should they start? Obviously a phone call with you, but you mentioned so many different programs. Where do you think somebody like that should start?
Well, it first starts with the education. Quite honestly, the more that a property owner lets people within the economic development sphere know about that space, the better. Mass Development works closely with an organization called Mass Econ, and they do corporate site location finding for businesses looking to come in. And quite honestly, a lot of whom they deal with are people from out of state and those looking to move out of Boston. They've got a prototype. They are thinking about where they can go to do the manufacturing, which might be a little bit less expensive than within the 128 corridor. So touching base with Mass Econ and finding out some of the programs is a great tool, because that's an educational element that can help. The other thing is also, and I'm going to talk for myself, and I won't throw Maria into this, but being pinged with emails, I tend to be talkative. I tend to like learning about things. So if there's a property owner that wants to talk about their space or what we are seeing in the marketplace for businesses, always happy to have that conversation, because you can never tell when someone's going to say, hey, listen, I'm really looking for something near the ocean, near some other food manufacturers. I really want to have a population that I can go to for my workforce. Transit out to New York City really isn't an issue. What could work? And frankly, in what I described, that could be Gloucester. And if I know that there's a property owner that has available space, that could be useful. So Sal, to answer your question, it's just making sure that they, when they have time, maintain those relationships.
That's perfect. And it was mentioned before in Maria's presentation, but the city has been aggressive under the leadership of the mayor with TIF programs. And, basically that's a program, it's a tax incentive for expansion of businesses. And sometimes a misunderstanding is, well, it has to be a new company coming to Gloucester, and that's not true. If you are considering a major expansion of your building footprint and looking to hire people, talk to us. It's the first step, and it's really simple. And sometimes the process is you would issue a letter of intent to the office saying that you're looking to expand and you're interested in a tax increment financing and possibly EDIP tax credits. And then that's where Maria would come in. And Maria, if you could just jump in and say what the next step would be, I think that would be helpful.
Sure. I know that the mayor's team has done quite a few TIFs in the past, because I have quarterbacked that process. I like that. And I think Rob probably looks more like John Brady than I do, but that's okay. So he, definitely, really the first step is calling Sal, right? So Sal is going to get you through, he's going to chat with you a little bit about TIF. He's going to be sort of the first test, right? To see if it's something that that would merit tax increment financing, right? And so, and again, you don't have to, it's not just for companies moving to Gloucester. If you're already here and you're looking to expand, it's really about, so with a TIF, it's like, what's the building assessed for right now? After you've made your improvements, what's kind of the new assessment of that, of the project, and again the delta in between, and that's where a TIF could come in. So really you need to move that needle. So if your investment is moving the needle, then I'm sure that they'd be willing to talk with you about a TIF. And as he said, a letter of intent template, which I have, he has. So what he would do next is get in touch with me, and we would start thinking, are there jobs created? Are you going to create new jobs that are attached to that investment? And if the answer is yes, then you may be considered for the state's tax credits as well. You know, and it depends on how many jobs you are creating. They're full-time jobs. I just did a project with, one of my smallest projects just happened in Gloucester with the BC Gourmet coming to Gloucester. It was 8 jobs. So don't feel like you have to be the size of Amazon to get tax credits. It could be, you know, you just need one. You need one additional full-time job to be created for us to look at your project. And so, yes, so then from there, we would have a conversation about the project. Then Sal and his team, the mayor, they all have their internal guidelines and processes, and to see if, you know, whether or not they're going to recommend a TIF to the council. Then in the meantime, sort of at the same time, I'm working with the company and the municipality to see if there are additional, like I said, state credits available for that project. And then it's about a 12-week process. Don't let that deter you. So you're not working constantly for 12 weeks. It's, you know, sometimes it's me saying, hurry up and wait. I need this form, hurry up and wait. But again, we're going to guide you through all of it. It's really not a difficult process. And, you know, I think kind of what I'm feeling with this webinar is like this sense of, we want you to know that you're not alone in this. Don't feel like you have to be alone in this process. If you're growing your business, even though you've done this before, and I've been in business for 30 years and whatever, you know, find out what's out there. Like, is there something that can we help you grow faster? Can we help you, you know, create even more jobs? You've got Taylor and his group, you've got Sal, you've got Rob, you've got me, you have, you know, the entire community development team, the mayor's office, like everyone does a great job. And this community is truly a pleasure to work with, I think, because we're all running, you know, on all cylinders.
Thank you, Maria. And you know, I know we have a shy group this morning, which is shocking, but I know sometimes that it might feel uncomfortable to ask a question on a recorded webinar, but I did receive a text question about workforce development training, and I know that's not directly something, you know, we don't have mass hire here right now, but if Maria, you could touch on this topic, because and the mayor knows, you know, we're hearing about it all the time. It's hard to find employees at this time for a lot of our businesses. And, you know, it's a challenge that's happening for a lot of reasons. You know, we have a couple of job fairs happening this month, but what I'm hearing from companies is it's hard to find people. And it's one of the reasons why we're working with the EDIC on the last mile project to help transportation, where we're going to have a CADA shuttle pick folks up from the commuter rail station. So but if you could touch on just some of the workforce training pieces and the grants and whatever, and what people should do if they feel like they need that help.
Sure. So if folks need help with hiring, definitely reach out to us and we will connect you with the Mass Hire. So they also work regionally. So the Mass Hire for Gloucester is the main office for the Northeast region is in Salem. And so they're certainly very familiar with Gloucester, and as Sal said, I know that they're planning a couple of job fairs currently. You know, I think they do a really good job of, like, they will, you know, as long as you're giving them the job description, they you know, you might even want to ask for some feedback on a job description that you're submitting to them. I think they do a really great job, like I said, of really vetting, sort of doing a first run at resumes. So that, you know, if you are looking for, I don't know, I use this example sometimes. If you're looking for someone that's going to make widgets on the widget floor, you don't, you know, in Gloucester, you don't need someone that is an executive chef in Pittsfield. Like, that's not going to work for you. So they separate it by sector, and they also separate it by region. So there's that piece. And then if you're looking for, we've got the state, I didn't mention this, but the state also has an apprenticeship program that the state can help you with any type of business. The state can help put together an apprenticeship program for you, but there's 3 sectors where the state will actually offer you a tax incentive to do so. It's $4,800 per apprentice. And those 3 sectors are IT, healthcare, and manufacturing. So if you're willing to take on an apprentice, the state, like I said, will help you with that. We don't tell you who to take on. We don't tell you who the apprentice needs to be. We tell you where to find them. You make your own decisions because you need it to be a match for you. But so like I said, there's for those 3 sectors, there's a tax incentive associated with that. That is also through, labor and workforce development. And so the folks at the Mass Hire can talk more about that program with you if you're interested in that. There's also tax credits for hiring veterans. I think it's between the state credit and the federal credit. It's over $10,000 for hiring a veteran. There is and then as far as training, I know I touched on training briefly, and through Mass Hire and through the Workforce Investment Board in Salem, we can get you connected with the local community colleges and the local state universities. They can, so the Workforce Training Fund grant, like I mentioned, is up to $250,000, and that's matching. And again, that's your contribution is your payroll. They can, so I think, so their outreach coordinator, I think she said there might be 10,000 different classes that you can take through the Workforce Training Fund grant program. But sometimes there's just a class that it's not something that's already available. Through connecting you to the community colleges, you might be able to work with them, and they will, one, help you write the grant to the Workforce Training Fund grant. And secondly, they can also help you write the curriculum that you need for a certain class. So sometimes with manufacturing companies, there's certain classes that you would want your employees to take, and the community college will help you write that grant through Workforce Training Fund.
Great, a lot of information there, and I know what you always say. You know enough to be dangerous when it comes to some of the other programs that are available through the state, but easily you could connect them to the appropriate folks. Thank you. That's huge, especially the benefit to hiring veterans. That's huge. People should definitely take advantage of that if they aren't already. We have a hand raised, Ken Reel. Shelley, I'm gonna do an allow to talk, and hopefully this works, but I'm gonna click it here. But Ken, are you there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks. Thank you all. This is really terrific information. And if I could just comment on hiring for a minute more, that it's a huge deal for us now as we come out of the pandemic. Frankly, especially in hospitality, most of our hospitality businesses are looking to hire, and at sort of the relatively low income scale, and including a lot of hourly workers. And there are 2 job fairs that are coming up that everybody should be aware of. And one is on Monday, and it's at the new YMCA. And so that's a local job fair. You can have a table there. There is no cost. And if you'd like information on that, there's an email. It's capeannjobs@gmail.com. And you can just go ahead and contact Carol Mondello, actually works for the city, is leading that as far as I understand. And I would encourage you to set up a table there. We'll be there as a business resource. And the other one is actually with Mass Hire, and that's the end of the month, and that's a virtual event. And that is on the 28th. of April, Wednesday, the 28th. By the way, the YMCA event is 5 to 7 o'clock, and you need to be there by 4 to set up. But the Mass Hire event is virtual, and that is 3 o'clock. I think it's like 3 to 5, 3 to 4:30. And we can provide you a link to that if anybody needs that. I'm sure you have that as well, Maria. But we encourage you to join that as well. That's going to be a larger event and probably even more appropriate for, especially for our manufacturing type businesses. That's all. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Ken. Yeah, lots of you know, help that's out there in the workforce development training, which is one of the #1, you know, assistance requests that we've been getting lately. So Ken, thank you for bringing that up. If we don't have any other questions, we are going to wrap up. Again, I'd like to thank our panelists today, you know, just the #1 takeaway here, I would say, is that if you have a business related question or need help, don't know where to start, give me a call. Feel free to give Rob Anderson a call, Maria a call, but we're here to help you. We want you to grow, and we thank you for being here in Gloucester and, you know, providing jobs and important services to our city. It means a lot to us. I know the mayor would like to wrap us up, but I know, Mayor, you feel the same way. You appreciate these jobs.
Absolutely. They brought up some good questions. You know what? The state's not just there if you want to build, if you want to come into the community, the TIFs, it's what you have. And Ken mentioned that it's difficult. Last year, it was difficult finding employment, seasonal employment. And this year it's going to be even more difficult. People, you know, where they want to travel, because it's hard. Everyone, it's transportation. How do you get there? What can we do about it? And so we need to work together. And so that's what I want to say is mass development and, you know, Maria and my community development are not there just for you to expand or just for you to want to move in. We're here. They're there to actually to help you continue to keeping your business, to help the chambers, to help, you know, Discover Gloucester, to help all of us for anything. And, you know, like Sal said, an email or a call. I've worked so closely with them over the years, including when prior at the Addison Gilbert Hospital when I was working with health insurance and someone, you know, had to do major layoffs or someone was closing down. How do we do it? And we did it together as a city when, you know, Whole Foods and everything else. And we came together and we placed people at jobs. And I think that, you know, what they didn't understand is that if I start, will I lose unemployment? What would I do with my insurance? Is it open enrollment? There's so many questions that they all needed and they were afraid to do that one step. Don't let them be afraid. If you have people and you're hearing that they do want to do, you know, seasonal, and then what's going to happen when it stops? Can I collect unemployment again? What I do for the winter? I really need a full-time job. How do I do it? Have them reach out. You know, and I think that maybe with the state, well, some of these questions that if we can address them ahead of time, it might be easier for the job hires or, you know, the job fairs and everything else saying, you know what? If you're looking for seasonal and you're on unemployment, you know, what's the benefit of you going back to work and not going back to work? People don't realize too that, you know what, if you're on unemployment, you can get still partial unemployment. You still can get some of the health benefits that you have through the connector or the Commonwealth Care and some of the programs. So I think that's very difficult is, all right, so if I'm going to come back to work and we're just doing, let's say in a restaurant, I'm not going to pick on any restaurant, I'm going to do outside. And you know what, I'm only going to be able to work 3 days. You still can collect unemployment the other 2 days. It's all about what you can earn and not can earn. So I think people don't want to do that first initiative saying, I can do the 3 days and still collect and not be fearful of this winter. They need to understand that. And I think that's what's scaring a lot of people into taking these, you know, seasonal jobs, because what happens if we don't, you know, what happens if we don't get the tourism? What happens if I don't make the tips? What happens if I don't? It's the what ifs that are making people afraid. So I think that with both the job fairs that are coming up, people can understand if maybe we can all work together with the state to put up like a pamphlet. and unemployment, get them on board, get them, I know, get unemployment on board. That's like, okay, pulling teeth, you can't even get, your identity. And, but the fact is, some of these questions have always been brought up wherever I go, is like, well, how can I do both? Or what happens if I stop one? Will I be able to continue? It's a lot of questions that, they're too embarrassed or too afraid to ask. And so they might not want to return. So it's hard. So I think we'll work on that. But again, Mass Development, Maria, Taylor, it's been great. I'm sure you'll have to come with some more temps, because we're going to probably need them all around. And that's a good thing, though. That's a good thing. I'm saying, well, maybe we should put one up for the seniors, just right by the cupboard, just for the seniors to have their little space too. Because there's a lot of things that can open and can't open. And I honestly have to say, my team, community development, is working on everything. And it was funny, they asked Jill, can you come to the senior center to do a presentation? I said, it's outside dining for restaurants, not for the senior center. She's got enough people, please. And that's what it is they're always reaching out, and we need to continue to have them reach out, because what, there's never no wrong answer. We're here to help for everyone. Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Thank
Change
you,
my
Bear.
background
Thank
again.
you for everyone, and stay safe and be in
Thanks.
touch. Thank you.
All righty, bye.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you.